The story begins on a cold and silent night aboard the human research ship Helios 9. Ethan Cole, a medical engineer, sat alone in the infirmary, staring at the endless stars beyond the window. The ship had been drifting near the outer rim of the Andera system for weeks, mapping unknown planets. Nothing exciting ever happened, until that night. The alarm broke the silence. Emergency docking detected. Unknown vessel approaching. The crew rushed to their stations as a small, damaged alien ship appeared on their scanners. It was burning from the inside, falling apart. When the rescue team opened the hatch, smoke poured out, and through it stumbled a woman unlike any Ethan had ever seen. Her skin shimmered like silver glass, and her eyes glowed faintly blue. In her trembling arms, she carried a small child, weak and dying. "Please," she gasped in broken English, "help, my daughter." Without waiting for orders, Ethan ran forward and helped her lay the child on the medical bed. The girl's pulse was fading. The scanner blinked red, massive blood loss. But her blood type, completely alien. No match in the database. Captain Hale shouted, "We can't save her. Different biology." But Ethan didn't listen. He looked at the child's pale face, so human, yet so different. Something inside him whispered, "Try." He analyzed her blood. To his shock, her oxygen-carrying cells were close to human type O-. Close enough, maybe. "She needs a transfusion," Ethan said. The captain frowned. "You can't mix species, Cole. It's suicide." Ethan clenched his jaw. "If we do nothing, she dies." He grabbed the injector and connected the line. The crew watched in silence as Ethan's human blood began flowing into the alien child's veins. The monitor beeped wildly, unstable at first, then steady. Minutes passed. The girl's skin slowly regained color. Her breathing softened. Against all odds, she was alive. The alien mother fell to her knees, tears shining in her glowing eyes. You saved my child. You saved my world." Ethan smiled weakly. "Just doing my job." But something strange happened. The lights flickered. Ethan felt dizzy, his veins burning like fire. His body temperature spiked, and for a moment, his vision flashed white. Then, it was gone. He collapsed. When he woke up, he was in the med bay, the alien woman sitting beside him. She introduced herself as Soraya, a warrior from the planet Valera, a world destroyed by disease and war. Her people had been searching for help, fleeing across the stars with their last survivors. Her daughter's name was Lyra. "You saved her with your blood," Soraya said softly. "But your blood is not only medicine, it's connection." Ethan frowned. "Connection? What do you mean?" Soraya looked at him with strange intensity. "Our kind share life through blood. When you gave your blood, a bond formed between you and my child. You are now, part of us." Ethan laughed nervously, thinking it was a cultural belief. But when he tried to stand, he felt it, the faint echo of another heartbeat inside his mind. He could feel the child's emotions, her warmth, her peace. It was real. Before he could speak, Soraya placed her hand on his chest. Her skin was cool, her eyes deep like oceans. "My people believe in balance," she whispered. "A life saved must be honored. My daughter lives because of you. Now, I must give life back." Ethan looked confused. "I don't understand." Soraya's expression turned serious. "Among my kind, the one who saves blood, must continue the bloodline." Ethan's heart froze. "You mean?" She nodded slowly. "You must join with me. Breed with me. It is our law." The room went silent. Ethan's mind spun. He had saved a child's life, but now, the price was something he never imagined. And somewhere, deep inside, that second heartbeat pulsed again, stronger this time. Was it calling to him? Or warning him? The stars outside burned brighter, as if watching the strange bond between a human and an alien mother, an act of mercy that would soon change the fate of both species forever. The next morning, the Helios 9 was quiet. The crew avoided the med bay, whispering about what had happened. Everyone knew Ethan Cole had done something impossible. He had mixed human and alien blood. And the alien child had survived. But the real tension began when Soraya, the alien mother, made her demand public. She stood in front of the captain and crew, tall and graceful in her green armor that shimmered like liquid metal. Her silver-blue skin reflected the soft lights of the ship. The small alien girl, Lyra, hid behind her mother's legs, smiling shyly at Ethan. Soraya spoke clearly. "My daughter lives because of this man. In my culture, such an act binds lives together. He must now fulfill the bond of blood." The room fell silent. Captain Hale folded his arms. "Bond of what?" Soraya looked directly at Ethan. "He must join with me. It is our way. Our life laws demand balance." Ethan's stomach twisted. "Join with you? You mean?" "Yes," Soraya said softly, "you must give new life. You saved one. Now we create another." The crew broke into whispers. Some laughed nervously, others stared in disbelief. Hale slammed his fist on the table. "That's not happening. We're not part of your customs, lady." He did his duty as a medic. "That's it." Soraya's eyes glowed faintly. "You do not understand. The bond is already formed. If he refuses, both he and the child will suffer." Ethan blinked. "Suffer? What do you mean?" "The blood link ties your life to hers. You feel her heartbeat, don't you?" she asked gently. Ethan hesitated. He did feel it, that strange echo deep inside, like a faint second pulse under his own. He thought it was in his imagination, but maybe it wasn't. Soraya stepped closer. "If the bond is not completed, it breaks. And when it breaks, both hearts stop." The crew gasped. Ethan felt his chest tighten. Could that be true? Or was she manipulating him? Captain Hale glared. "You're threatening my man." Soraya shook her head calmly. "No. I speak truth. Our connection is sacred science, not myth. My people share blood, soul, and energy. The bond is alive now." Ethan rubbed his temples. "I didn't ask for this." Soraya's voice softened. "Neither did I. But now fate has written it." Later that night, Ethan sat alone in his quarters, staring at the stars again. He remembered the child's face, how peaceful she looked after he saved her. He remembered Soraya's touch, strange but gentle. And that heartbeat inside him still pulsed, in rhythm with hers. Suddenly, the door slid open. Soraya entered quietly. The light reflected off her metallic skin, and her eyes glowed faintly like twin moons. "You cannot sleep," she said softly. Ethan sighed. "Hard to sleep when I'm bonded to someone I barely know." She smiled faintly. "You are brave. Few men would give blood for a dying child of another race." "I just did what was right," Ethan replied. Soraya stepped closer, her voice low and calm. "On my world, such courage is rare. You would be honored as protector, even as father." "Father?" Ethan whispered. She nodded. "Lyra's energy flows with yours now. She feels your emotions. She called you Lightbringer." Ethan blinked. "Lightbringer?" "In our language," Soraya said softly, "it means the one who gives hope." For a moment, silence filled the room. The tension between them shifted, no longer fear, but something else. A quiet connection, strange yet real. Ethan looked into her eyes. "What if I refuse the bond? What happens then?" Soraya lowered her head. "Then both of you fade." Slowly. The link turns to poison. Ethan clenched his fists. There must be another way. There is none, she said sadly. Unless our scientists find a cure. But our world is gone. You may be the only one who can keep the link stable. Ethan felt the weight of her words. He was just a medic, not a hero. But now, he carried the life of a child, and maybe an entire alien lineage, in his veins. The ship's lights flickered again. Ethan felt a sharp pulse in his chest, like a surge of static energy. Soraya looked alarmed. It begins, she whispered. The bond is growing stronger. You are changing. Ethan looked down at his hands. For a second, his veins glowed faintly blue, the same shade as Soraya's eyes. What's happening to me? He whispered. Soraya's voice trembled. Your blood is merging with ours. You are becoming something more. Ethan's heart pounded. Half human, half alien. What was he turning into? Outside, space shimmered with a faint blue light, as if the universe itself was responding to their connection. And deep inside the ship, little Lyra stirred in her sleep, her small hand glowing faintly, in sync with Ethan's heartbeat. Days passed aboard the Helios 9, and Ethan Cole began to notice strange things happening to him. At first, it was small, his senses sharpened. He could hear heartbeats through walls, see faint glows in the dark, and feel emotions that weren't his own. Sometimes, he felt the child's laughter echoing inside his chest. Other times, Soraya's sadness touched his thoughts like a whisper. The crew avoided him now. Stay away from him, someone whispered in the mess hall. He's infected. They looked at Ethan as if he were no longer human. Captain Hale ordered constant scans, but the ship's systems showed nothing harmful, only unusual energy patterns around his blood. They glowed faintly blue, just like Soraya's people. Cole, Hale said one morning, we can't risk contamination. Until we know what's happening, you're confined to Med Bay. Ethan nodded quietly. He didn't argue. Deep inside, he already knew, something was changing him. That night, as he sat in the Med Bay, he heard a soft knock. The door slid open, and Soraya entered with her daughter, Lyra. The little girl smiled shyly. Hello, Lightbringer. Ethan smiled weakly. Hey there, little one. How are you feeling? Lyra giggled, her eyes glowing softly. Your heart, it hums like mine now. Soraya placed her hand on her daughter's shoulder. She senses your bond more than I do. The link grows stronger each day. Ethan looked down. Soraya, what's happening to me? I'm changing. I can feel it. Soraya's face was calm but sad. You are merging with Valerian blood. When you saved her, your DNA adapted to hers. The connection you share is rewriting your body. Ethan frowned. Rewriting? You mean I'm becoming? Yes, she said quietly. Part of us. He stood, shocked. That's impossible. Soraya looked into his eyes. And yet it is happening. You feel her pain, her joy, her fear. You are not just bonded. You are evolving. Ethan ran a hand through his hair, his heart pounding. What if I can't stop it? Soraya stepped closer. Why would you want to stop it? You gave life, and life is giving back to you. But I'm human, he shouted. I don't want to lose that. The words echoed in the cold metal room. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. Ethan immediately regretted it. Soraya knelt beside her daughter. He does not mean harm, child. He fears the unknown. Ethan sighed, lowering his voice. I'm sorry. I just don't understand any of this. Soraya stood tall again. Then let me tell you the truth. She walked toward the window, staring out at the endless stars. Our world, Valera, once thrived with light and beauty. But a disease came, a sickness that burned our blood and destroyed our ability to reproduce. For centuries, we searched the stars for a cure. She turned to face him. Your blood, Ethan, healed my child because it carries something we lost, the human spark. Your people are the key to saving mine. Ethan's breath caught. You mean, my blood could cure your species? Yes, Soraya said softly. But the bond must be complete for it to work. If you join with me, our people can live again. Ethan stepped back, his mind spinning. You want me to breed for science? She shook her head. Not for science. For survival. He laughed bitterly. You're asking me to give up my humanity. Soraya's voice softened. Perhaps you are not losing it. Perhaps you are expanding it. For a long moment, silence filled the room, until the ship trembled violently. The lights flickered red. The alarm blared. Warning, unknown ship detected, shouted the computer voice. Approaching fast. Captain Hale's voice came through the intercom. Cole, Soraya, stay where you are. We're being boarded. Soraya's expression hardened. They found us. Who? Ethan asked. She looked at him with fire in her eyes. The hunters, my own kind. They believe no Valerian should bond with a human. To them, our union is a sin. The ship shook again as explosions echoed outside. Ethan grabbed a medkit and helped Soraya shield Lyra behind a table. We can't fight them, he said. Soraya drew a glowing blade from her armor. I can. The door burst open. 3 tall figures entered, their armor gleaming silver and blue. They looked just like Soraya, but colder, their eyes burning with hatred. The leader raised his weapon. Soraya of Valera, you have betrayed your kind. The human must die. Soraya stepped forward, her blade humming with energy. Over my dead body. Ethan's heart raced. He wasn't a soldier, but something inside him stirred. That same alien energy pulsed through his veins again. His hands glowed faintly, like light trapped beneath his skin. And when the first hunter fired, Ethan raised his hand by instinct. The energy burst out, a wave of blue light that threw the attacker across the room. Soraya turned, stunned. Ethan, what did you just do? Ethan stared at his hands, trembling. I don't know. Outside, alarms wailed as the ship rocked violently. Inside, a human and an alien mother stood side by side, bound by blood, surrounded by enemies, and linked by something greater than either could understand. The war for survival had just begun, the walls of the Helios 9 trembled with every explosion. Red warning lights flashed, alarms screamed, and smoke filled the corridors. Ethan Cole stood frozen, his heart pounding as energy still glowed faintly in his palms. He had just thrown an armed alien across the room without touching him. Soraya's eyes widened. You used our power, she whispered. I didn't mean to, Ethan said, staring at his hands. It just happened. There was no time to think. The door burst open again and more hunters rushed in, armored warriors from Soraya's own species, their weapons glowing with deadly light. Protect the child. Soraya shouted. Ethan ducked behind a table with little Lyra while Soraya charged at the attackers. Her blade sliced through the air with grace and fury. Sparks flew as alien steel clashed. Every move she made was both beautiful and deadly, a dance of survival. Ethan felt the blood bond throbbing in his chest. He could feel her heartbeat, her fear, and her pain. When a laser blast hit her shoulder, he cried out and clutched his own arm, the pain mirrored inside him. Something inside him snapped. His vision blurred, and the world seemed to slow down. The blue energy within him roared to life again. He raised his hand, and a burst of glowing force exploded from his palm, slamming 2 hunters into the wall. The energy left cracks in the metal. Soraya turned, her voice trembling. You are awakening. Ethan gasped for breath. What's happening to me? The bond between us is changing you, she said, eyes wide with awe. You are not only connected, you are becoming one of us. Another explosion rocked the ship. The hunters retreated for a moment, regrouping. Ethan grabbed Soraya's injured arm. We have to get out of here. She nodded, wincing. Follow me. I know a way. They rushed through the smoky corridors, the little girl holding Ethan's hand tightly. Lyra looked up at him with glowing eyes. You shine brighter now, she said softly. They reached the escape hangar, but the blast doors were locked. Soraya pressed her palm to the control panel, her veins lighting up with blue fire. The door hissed open. Inside was a small shuttle. Get in, Soraya said. Ethan helped Lyra climb aboard, but before he could follow, the leader of the hunters appeared, taller and darker than the others, his armor cracked and scarred. His eyes burned like twin suns. Soraya, he roared. You would choose a human over your kind? Soraya stood tall, blood dripping down her arm. He saved my child. He carries our blood now. He is one of us. The leader sneered. He is corruption. You have doomed us all. He raised his weapon, a spear of glowing light, and threw it. Ethan moved without thinking. His body reacted faster than his mind. He caught the weapon mid-air. The metal burned his hand, but he didn't drop it. Instead, the spear's light changed, its glow turned from blue to white. Soraya stared. Only the chosen can do that, she whispered. Ethan frowned. Chosen. The leader stepped back, fear flashing across his face. No. It cannot be him. The prophecy was a lie. Soraya looked at Ethan with shock. Long ago, our ancestors spoke of a Lightbringer, a being from another world whose blood would unite ours and restore life to Valera. I thought it was only legend. Ethan shook his head. I'm just a medic, not a savior. But even as he spoke, the spear in his hand pulsed with living energy. The light spread across his arm, glowing through his veins, connecting him to Soraya and the child. Lyra stepped forward, her small voice calm and clear. You are the Lightbringer. I can feel it. The ship shook again. The hunters fired, forcing them to take cover. Ethan raised the spear instinctively, and a dome of white light surrounded them, a shield that deflected every blast. Soraya watched in disbelief. Your power, it's pure. Human and Valerian energy in harmony. The leader shouted, you will destroy us all, and charged forward. Ethan stepped out of the shield, the light swirling around him. He swung the spear, and a wave of energy swept through the corridor, throwing the hunter back into the wall. The armor shattered like glass. When the dust settled, the leader lay still. The remaining hunters dropped their weapons and backed away in fear. Soraya took Ethan's hand, her eyes glowing with pride and sorrow. You have changed the fate of 2 worlds, Ethan Cole. He shook his head, still breathing hard. I didn't ask for this. Neither did destiny, she whispered. Captain Hale's voice crackled through the calm, Cole. Are you alive? Ethan took a deep breath. Barely. But we need to leave. Now. The 3 of them climbed into the shuttle and launched into the cold dark of space. The Helios 9 burned behind them, a dying light among the stars. As the ship sped away, Lyra rested her head on Ethan's shoulder. Don't be sad, Lightbringer, she said softly. The stars are not done with you yet. Ethan looked out the window. The planet Valera glowed faintly in the distance, a world waiting for salvation. He didn't know it yet, but his blood, his bond, and his heart were about to decide the future of both species. And the prophecy of the Lightbringer had only just begun. The shuttle drifted through silent space, leaving the wreck of the Helios 9 behind. Ethan sat by the window, his hands still faintly glowing. Every heartbeat pulsed with that strange blue light, alien and human energy mixing like fire and ice. Beside him, Soraya sat quietly, holding her daughter close. The little girl slept peacefully, her silver-blue skin glowing faintly in the dark cabin. Ethan finally broke the silence. "Where are we going?" Soraya looked up. "Home," she said softly. "To Valera." "Your planet?" "I thought it was dying." "It is," she replied. "But not dead." "Not yet." Outside, the stars shimmered as the ship entered a new system. Through the window, Ethan saw a faint blue sphere, beautiful, but broken. The planet Valera looked like a cracked jewel floating in the dark. Half of its surface glowed with strange energy storms, the other half was covered in shadow. As they descended, Ethan saw cities in ruins, floating towers fallen into the oceans, and skies filled with blue lightning. The world looked ancient, wounded, but still alive. Soraya's voice trembled. "This is what remains of us. Once, our people ruled the stars. Now, only a few thousand survive." The shuttle landed near a tall, glowing structure shaped like a crystal tower. Dozens of Valerians waited outside, tall, elegant beings with silver skin and glowing eyes. But when they saw Ethan step out, they murmured in shock. "A human," one hissed. "He carries the forbidden blood," another shouted. Soraya raised her hand. "He is the one from the prophecy. The Lightbringer." The crowd fell silent. From inside the tower, an older Valerian stepped forward. His eyes were dim but wise, his voice deep. "Soraya, you bring the human here?" "After what the hunters said." Soraya bowed her head. "Elder Karan, he saved my child. He carries our blood, and he awakened the ancient power." The elder studied Ethan for a long moment. "You risked your life to save one of us?" Ethan nodded slowly. "Yes. I didn't know what it would mean." The elder smiled faintly. "Then perhaps you are exactly who we've waited for." He led them into the tower. Inside, the walls glowed softly with living light. Strange symbols floated in the air, alien writing that pulsed like breathing stars. Karan gestured toward a large crystal sphere at the center of the room. "This is the heart of Valera, the last source of our world's life energy. It is dying. The disease that took our people started here." Ethan stepped closer. The crystal flickered weakly, its light fading in and out. "What caused it?" "Corruption," Karan said sadly. "We tried to control life itself. We broke the balance. Now only one with the purest life energy can restore it." Soraya looked at Ethan. "That is why your blood healed my child. Your body carries what ours lost, harmony." Ethan shook his head. "I'm not a savior. I'm just a man who made a mistake." The elder placed a glowing hand on his shoulder. "Sometimes, destiny chooses the unwilling." Suddenly, Lyra woke up. She looked at the crystal and smiled. "It's calling to him," she whispered. Ethan felt it too, a soft hum deep inside his chest. His blood pulsed faster, answering the sound of the dying crystal. His veins began to glow again. Karan stepped back. "It recognizes him." The light grew brighter until the entire chamber filled with a soft blue glow. Energy flowed from the crystal toward Ethan, wrapping around him like ribbons of light. He felt warmth, sorrow, and hope all at once. But then, pain. His knees buckled as the energy surged through him. He screamed, clutching his chest. Soraya ran to him, but the elder held her back. "Do not touch him. The heart is testing him." Ethan's mind filled with visions, flashes of Valera's past. He saw shining cities, oceans of light, and millions of alien lives burning away under storms. He saw Soraya as a child, watching her world crumble. And then he saw himself, standing at the center of both races, human and Valerian, his hands raised as stars exploded around him. The vision faded, and Ethan fell to the floor, gasping for breath. The light around the crystal dimmed again, but this time it pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. Soraya knelt beside him, eyes wide with fear and awe. "You connected with it, didn't you?" Ethan nodded weakly. "It's alive. It's part of your world's soul." Karan's voice trembled. "And now, it is part of you." Ethan looked up at the crystal again. "If I don't help it, your planet dies." The elder nodded. "Yes. But if you give too much, you will die with it." Silence filled the chamber. Soraya touched Ethan's cheek gently. "You don't have to do this. You've already saved us once." Ethan looked at her, then at little Lyra. The child smiled at him, innocent, full of light. He took a deep breath. Maybe this isn't about saving one life anymore. Maybe it's about saving them all. Soraya's eyes glistened. "Then whatever happens, I will stand with you." Outside, lightning flashed across the dark sky as if the world itself was listening. The heart of Valera began to glow brighter, sensing the change inside its chosen one. And in that moment, Ethan realized the truth: the bond between them wasn't a curse. It was the key to life itself. The air inside the great crystal chamber grew heavy. The heart of Valera pulsed like a living sun, sending ripples of light across the floor. Ethan Cole stood before it, feeling its power flow through him, wild, ancient, and alive. His veins glowed brighter than ever before, the blue light now mixed with gold. Soraya and little Lyra stood behind him. Elder Karan watched silently, his old eyes filled with both fear and hope. "You must understand," Karan said softly, "the heart is not just energy. It is memory, the soul of every Valerian who ever lived. If you merge with it, you will see everything, even the pain we tried to forget." Ethan nodded slowly. "Then I'll see it. Whatever it takes." Soraya reached for his arm. "If you give too much, it could take your life." He looked at her with calm eyes. "If I don't try, your people lose everything. That's worse than death." She wanted to stop him, but she saw something unshakable in his face, courage that didn't belong to warriors, but to someone who simply refused to turn away. Ethan stepped toward the glowing crystal. The hum grew louder, echoing like a heartbeat inside his skull. He placed his hands on its surface. It was warm, like living skin. The world exploded into light. He was no longer in the chamber. He stood in a sea of stars, floating above a shining version of Valera, the planet as it once was, full of light and life. He saw millions of Valerians walking under golden skies, their laughter echoing through the air, then everything darkened. A black storm spread across the world like ink. Cities collapsed, oceans boiled, and the skies turned red. He felt their fear, their screams, their endless pain. A voice spoke through the void. "You carry their blood, human. You are the bridge between what was, and what can be." Ethan looked around. "Who are you?" From the darkness, two enormous figures appeared, luminous beings made of starlight. Their shapes shifted between human and Valerian. "We are the first ones," the voice said. "We created the heart. We gave life to Valera. But our children forgot the balance. They used the heart to play God, and it broke." Ethan clenched his fists. "Can it be fixed?" "Yes," the voice replied. "But only through sacrifice. The heart needs living blood, the kind that still carries creation itself. Yours." Ethan felt the truth sink in. "If I give it, I die, don't I?" Silence. Then the voice whispered, "Every light must burn to make the dawn." He opened his eyes. The chamber returned around him. He was on his knees, sweat and light pouring from his body. Soraya rushed forward, holding him. "Ethan. What did you see?" He looked up at her with glowing eyes. "I saw your gods. I know what to do." Karan frowned. What did they say? They said the heart can live again, Ethan said weakly, but it needs blood. My blood. Soraya shook her head. No. I won't let you die for us. He smiled faintly. Soraya, you once said life is balance. Maybe this is it. Lyra tugged at his sleeve, tears in her bright eyes. You can't go, Lightbringer. I don't want you to leave. Ethan placed a hand on her small head. You saved me too, remember? You showed me what hope looks like. Karan stepped forward. If you do this, your life will end. But Valera will be reborn. Ethan took a deep breath. Then let it be reborn. He turned toward the heart again. The light around it flared brighter, reacting to his decision. He pressed his hand to the crystal one final time. Instantly, the chamber shook. The light swallowed him whole. Soraya screamed his name, but her voice was lost in the roar. Ethan's body began to dissolve into streams of glowing energy. His blood, his life, his very soul poured into the crystal. The heart drank the light and began to shine like a newborn star. The energy raced through the ground, spreading across the planet. Outside, the dead ocean shimmered. The sky cleared for the first time in centuries. Green light filled the horizon, and the broken towers began to bloom with living vines of crystal. Valera was alive again. Soraya fell to her knees, tears glowing like silver rain. Lyra clung to her, crying softly. He's gone, Mama, he's gone. Karan bowed his head. He gave his blood to heal what we destroyed. The Lightbringer has fulfilled the prophecy. But Soraya shook her head. No, he's not gone. Look. Inside the glowing heart, faint shapes of light swirled. Among them, one looked almost human, tall, calm, and smiling. Ethan's voice echoed softly through the air. Don't be sad. I'm part of your world now. Keep it alive, for both of us. The crystal pulsed once more, sending a final wave of warmth across Valera. The planet breathed again, its heart beating with life and hope. Soraya placed her hand on the glowing surface. We will remember you, Ethan Cole, she whispered. Forever. The light faded, and silence returned. But in that silence, a new dawn began, for Valera, for its people, and for the bond between two worlds joined by one man's blood. 50 years passed on Valera. The skies that were once gray now glowed with gentle colors, gold, violet, and blue. The heart of Valera pulsed deep beneath the capital city, its rhythm steady like a living heartbeat. The people called it the light of Ethan, a sacred energy that gave them life and warmth. The planet had healed. Forests covered the glass deserts. Rivers of glowing water ran through the valleys. The cities shone like living gems. And in the great temple above the heart, Soraya, now older, her hair streaked with silver, stood quietly, watching the light dance across the floor. Lyra, no longer a child, stood beside her. She was tall and graceful, her mother's calm in her eyes and something human in her smile. Her veins carried a faint blue glow, the same light that once flowed through Ethan's blood. Mother, Lyra said softly, the heart is growing stronger again. Its light feels alive. Soraya smiled gently. It has always been alive, child. You can feel him, can't you? Lyra nodded. Yes. Sometimes, when I touch the crystal, I hear his voice, like a whisper in the wind. Soraya closed her eyes. He never left us. He became one with the heart. That's why we still live. Outside the temple, life flourished. Valerians and humans, explorers who later came from the stars after hearing the legend, worked together to rebuild the world. The two species had learned from Ethan's sacrifice. They no longer fought for power. They built for peace. And every year, on the day the heart first shone, they celebrated the Day of Light. Children sang songs about the man who gave his blood to heal a dying world. But that year, something different happened. That night, as the festival fires burned and the skies filled with glowing lights, the heart began to pulse faster. The ground trembled gently. A hum spread through the air, soft but deep, like the sound of a voice beneath the earth. Inside the temple, Lyra rushed in. "Mother! The heart, it's changing." Soraya turned, her eyes wide. The heart was glowing brighter than ever, gold and blue light swirling like a storm. Elder Quran, now frail but still wise, entered leaning on his staff. "The prophecy spoke of this," he whispered. "When the heart awakens once more, the Lightbringer shall return." Soraya's heart pounded. That was only legend, but before she could finish, the light expanded, filling the chamber. The crystal surface cracked open like an egg of light. Streams of energy shot upward, forming a glowing silhouette in the air. Lyra gasped. "It's him." The figure took shape, a man of light, with human form and familiar eyes. Ethan Cole stood before them, his body made of pure energy, yet his smile was warm and real. "Ethan," Soraya whispered, tears falling from her eyes. "You came back." His voice was gentle, echoing through every corner of the temple. "I never left, Soraya. The heart kept me alive, not as a man, but as light. But now, Valera has grown strong enough for me to return." Lyra stepped forward, trembling. "You saved me, and now you're back." He looked at her proudly. "You carried the hope I gave. You became what I always believed, proof that two worlds can live as one." Soraya reached out a trembling hand. "Are you real, or only a dream?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Both. The heart gave me form, but it cannot hold me forever. My place is in the light now, guiding, not living." She lowered her head, tears glimmering. "I've waited so long." He moved closer, placing a hand of light over her heart. "You didn't wait in vain. Because of you, Valera lives. Because of you, I was never alone." The heart pulsed again, wrapping them in golden light. The air shimmered with warmth and peace. Ethan looked at them both, Soraya and Lyra, and said softly, "Keep protecting this world. Keep its light alive. As long as it shines, I am here." The light around him grew stronger, his form fading into the glow. Lyra cried out, "Will we see you again?" His voice whispered gently, "Every dawn, every heartbeat, every spark of life, that's me." And with that, he was gone. The heart sealed itself, glowing brighter than ever. When the light faded, Soraya and Lyra stood in silence. A warm breeze passed through the temple, carrying a faint, human laugh, Ethan's laugh. Soraya smiled through her tears. He kept his promise. Lyra looked at the heart, her eyes shining. "He's part of us now. Forever." Outside, the skies of Valera shimmered. The world glowed with a light that would never fade, the light of a man who gave his blood to heal an alien world, and whose spirit became its eternal heart. And in the distant stars, a whisper echoed, soft but clear. "Where there is life, there is hope."